Have you ever wondered how they conduct APC for Senior Professional Route? Join your hosts AJ Paredes and Anthea Valdez and wonder no more as we hear it from the AVP for Bids and Awards Committee of Eton Properties, Engineer J. Gandia. All these and more on Saturday, 2nd July, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you! Have you ever wondered how they conduct APC for Senior Professional Route? Join your hosts AJ Paredes and Anthea Valdez and wonder no more as we hear it from the AVP for Bids and Awards Committee of Eton Properties, Engineer J. Gandia. All these and more on Saturday, 2nd July, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you!
Okay, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. I'm Arlene Joy Paredes, or AJ, the current president of PICQS Singapore chapter, and I'm delighted and excited to be your host for our 12th session of Patch. Okay, so Patch is PICQS APC Talks channel, aiming to provide overviews about chartered and certified professionals' APC journey, PICQS structured trainings, and every quantity surveyor's road to becoming QS professionals in order to maximize their career potential. So for those who are not so familiar with PICQS, Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors is an all-Filipino QS organization with a global reach. So in a span of a decade, PICQS has formed 12 chapters around the globe in Philippines, UK, UAE, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, KSA, North America, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and the recently formed chapter BIM Indochina. So our members are mostly QS trained engineers, architects, and other allied profession practicing the quantity surveying globally, and we have structured trainings to patch up the required competencies towards exponential career growth. So this July marks our 12th patch session from its live launch last February 2021. So allow me to introduce my partner for this afternoon, who is a budding young professional and has been through a number and won a number of battles in her life. Okay, including passing her PICQS APC last year. So she is a corporate member of PICQS, has worn number of hats serving the organization voluntarily, and has even graced us with an interview during the last patch 10th session. So she's a well-rounded, a dedicated, and determined quantity surveyor with background in civil engineering. Okay, so without further ado, let me call in and share the virtual stage with me, Miss Anthea Valdez. Hi,
Hello,
Anthea.
hello, AJ. Thank you for the introduction, and it's really awesome to be back here and now hosting the patch with you.
Thank
So
you.
this is it.
So how are you? We've been away for like a few months from Patch, and everybody's been busy. I hope all is doing well from your end.
All is well, just busy, but of course we need to give time to patch so that we can share more and allow our audiences to learn from our guest speaker now.
Agree. I couldn't agree more. So, how have you been lately? I mean, how's the weather here in Singapore? I mean, it's nice to share the virtual stage with you, and we're both here in Singapore. And before we do the formal introduction of our guest speaker, let's have a quick reminder to our fellow Singapore members to be there in our bowling night, which will
Yeah,
be this will be on next week, right? I believe you're joining.
I will. See you there.
Okay, agree. Okay, so now Today is the 12th session of Patch, and we are fortunate to be joined by you, as well of course, our featured guest for this afternoon. Time flies really fast. I remember sometime around this month last year, we were busy preparing for the Congress, for the PICQS Congress, and our 10th anniversary. And now our 11th year anniversary just went by.
Yes, it's true. It's just that it's too fresh to reminisce those months that we've been very busy with this PIQS. And now we wish to congratulate the organization PICQS for celebrating its 11th anniversary recently. And just to let you know that we have recently uh, published the passers for our last P30 sessions. And
Yes.
currently, we have already commenced the level 2, PAP 1 for structured training. And we have attendance from Asia Pacific, UAE, and Middle East. It's great to
Wow.
see these young and really motivated trainees to learn more on the structured training that we are offering to them.
Agree. How busy are we? And the whole of PICQS. And there's actually PIQS 2022 hosted by SISV, which will be here in Singapore come September 9 to 13, if I'm not mistaken. The actual Congress will be on 12 to 13, right? So I'll be seeing you guys on
Yes.
that Congress. Yeah. And so, I think that being said, with all the announcements, and we will be focusing or sharing more about this PAP 1, the second level of structured training of PICQS. Without, I think, further delay, why don't you do the honor of introducing our guest speaker and our guest for this afternoon?
Thank you so much, AJ, for that. So, our featured professional for today has over 25 years of experience in various aspects of quantity surveying, and she is a well versed in both pre and post contract projects, administration across different sectors in the built environment. Her educational background includes Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from University of Santo Tomas Oristi. Jessica is currently the Assistant Vice President for Bids and Awards of Eton Properties and Vice Chairman of Bid Committee of Joint Venture Projects of Ayala and Eton Properties. She's also a founding member of the Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors, PICQS. She was the former PICQS National President for 2 years and President of Philippine Chapter for almost 10 years. She's also a member of Institution of Chartered Surveyors, RICS, since 2016. And she gained her 28 years of solid and extensive experience for Arcadis Philippines, formerly Davis
Oh,
Langdon and SIA Philippines, and knowledge in all aspects of pre and post contract duties of the projects. She led various teams of bill of quantities and pre and post contract department. She is also a assistant vice president for bids and contracts of Megadwide Construction Corporation, director of Arcadis Philippines, and senior manager for quantity surveying division of BK Asia Pacific.
wow. Okay.
She is also a part-time instructor of Philippine Institute of Built Environment PIB Incorporated, the first quantity surveying school in the Philippines, PICQS. Let's all welcome, give a round of applause to for our guest speaker today, Engineer Jessica Gandia.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss J. We're very excited to have you here in Patch.
Yeah, AJ and Thea, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. And very, very grateful for inviting me here in Patch. Of course, it's my first time. And it's always my pleasure to share my QS knowledge and my APC journey.
Thank you very much, Miss J, for your time, and you have shared with us a really overwhelming and impressive this portfolio. And despite your busy schedule, thank you for gracing us with your presence here. So before we proceed with the actual interview and the question and answer portion, let us share with our viewers today what is AQS in a brief sense of in the brief sense of the word, and this will be about a 2 minute presentation. So let me share my screen. Okay.
All right.
What can you say, Thea, about our 2 minute video of what quantity surveying and what is the role of quantity surveyors?
It's actually been exciting if I could recall that I've been through this APC structure training on how I could not just pass the APC but to improve myself and develop hone my skills, because how they have guided me all throughout, not just the support from the organization but how they will help you become a certified QS, and how will help you be defined well and versed well on best practice in our profession. So it's really
Good,
great to see this video. And
good indeed.
before that, why don't we check out and ask about Miss J's career journey?
Yes, okay. Before that, let me give you this. Okay, that's it for our career journey in a nutshell. So we are in this segment where we are going to ask questions to Miss J about what led you to become a quantity surveyor and the overview of overview of her career. Okay, but before that, let us take a quick look at our viewers and there they would like to greet us online. There was somebody are watching from Cebu. Okay, it's really nice to have you guys here in Patch. Okay, and there are a few LinkedIn users. Okay, we are encouraging you to develop your LinkedIn profile.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you, Jose Carlos Escon, for joining us this afternoon or this evening, wherever you are at the moment, and good morning. Okay, so now let us throw in a question from to our featured guest, Miss J. So the question now is, what led you to become a quantity surveyor or a QS?
Hi, actually, AJ and Thea, no, uh, before I answer your question, uh, hopefully you will not be counting how many years, the exact years, my experience at QS, no. So what led me to become QS? Actually, I don't know because I was directly hired by Davis Langdon and Saya, Malaysia, as assistant quantity surveyor. And since I'm a civil engineer graduate, I accepted the offer with measurement as my main task. So that time, so don't count the years. So QS is not known in the Philippines. So I'm not aware that I'm a
Mhm.
QS. So when I joined DLS Malaysia, we were trained how to measure
Mhm.
manually and how to use the atlas. That atlas is a measurement and a BQ software exclusively for DLS, and the standard method of measurement only in a half day.
Wow.
So, with my 2 year stay in DLS Malaysia, aside from measurement, we were given the task to pre and post construction works, such as the tender evaluation, evaluation of interim payment, and variation orders. And that time, of course, I'm still young that time. My goal also is to work abroad. So I grabbed that opportunity from DLS Malaysia.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so it's like an accidental QS role and which led you automatically to be in Malaysia. Eh,
Yes.
And
Mm-mm.
Davis Langdorense is very good at training. They have a very
Yeah.
well-rounded training for quantity surveyors. I've
Yes.
had a fellow QS colleagues who came from DLS before joining our current company, and they're really outstanding in terms of, doing the
Mm-mm.
takeoffs and all these.
Mm-mm.
So I commend DLS as a good training ground for newly graduates. No. Yes. Okay. So
Yeah,
Te.
true. So true. And I'm actually a student. I'm a student of Mom J, and I could really see and I've witnessed how well versed she is in this competency in quantity surveying. And I know I could prove that DLS really trained her very, very well. And over the years, she really have improved it more, way beyond, I think, expertise. And I'm curious, just to ask you, what can you consider as a turning point in your career?
Turning point may be when we were transferred here in Manila. That was 2 years after we were hired in DLS Malaysia to fill in the position gap between the management level and the trainee level. So I was assigned in the BQ team for or bill of quantities team for local and international projects, and eventually it led to leading 100 and more BQ staff.
Wow.
Then from then on, I'm unaware, no, that I was already enjoying the measurement using different standard method of measurements and BQ preparations. And then after more than 10 years in BQ, I was transferred to handle specific projects from inception to completion. And realization came, no, when I'm very much fulfilled when after the completion of the project, because I was able to practice the whole competency, the competency of a QS. So I think that was my turning point na I'll be going through this path, knowing that I'm a civil engineer graduate. So my decision was to take the
Mm.
QS path.
Just to take it and deal with it and share more with
Yeah,
everybody. Well,
Yeah.
true.
it's a very noble role, and looking at how Miss J has influenced and has mentored a number of QSS, not just in
Mhm.
the Philippines but around the globe, we
Mhm.
are very grateful that now you're going to share your journey. continuously and in patch. So we are reaching a number of people. And yes, we would like to thank you, Mark Dennis Gabinete, for being with us, who all the way from Guimaras. And
Yeah.
thank you, Felix, for being here all the way from Somalia. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And now let's check on the next question we have for Miss J, which is after you consider the turning point in your career, now what do you find interesting in your career journey?
Interesting. Interesting part may be when I initially joined Malaysia. The measurement was manual. So
Wow.
we were actually, you're very much lucky right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're already using software. So measurement was manual using the cat and shuffle method. And of course, you might not know this, no? I think I was able to discuss this with my PIBE students, and I think Thea, if you can remember,
Yes.
that we are using a dimension sheet. So that from dimension sheet, it's divided in four sections for the dimensions and the descriptions. So one description with its associated dimension is written in its section. So one team or group in DLS office, they call themselves workers up, and they will subsequently split into separate sheet and sorted into bill work section, and eventually to a bill of quantities order. So after that, the staff of workers up will also calculate the dimension and edit the sheet to form the final bill of quantities. So that's all manually, no? So in other words, the workers app will cut the dimension sheet into four parts, and then they will shuffle in based on the phraseology level. So as mentioned, I've been teaching measurement in PIBE, and I'm teaching them old school. Uh, old school way, parang ganon. So for them to understand the principle of measurements. So the students will not use any software, but I teach them to use the dimension sheets on plans and how to get the right length. Siguro, for example, the length of beam, no? The length of beam from grid to grid line, let's say 5 meters, no, from grid to grid line, and then minus the width of the column divided by 2 on one side, and then another one on the other side, no. So that's how we get the length of beam manually. So I think Thea here can
Yes.
testify on that.
Yeah.
But medyo, I think PIBE students did not appreciate that because it's manual. But from the PIB graduates, I can also confirm that they appreciate learning the principle of measurements. But in year 2000, no, there were already a lot of measurement software
Mhm.
which automatically generates the bill of quantities using the preferred SMM. So using the software eliminates the error in calculation and time of collating the dimensions under one descriptions. It also minimizes in errors in the descriptions. So you will just select from the software the phraseology because it's already aligned with the preferred SMM. So using the software, it's easy na to measure an area. Um, just to close the polygon, and that's it. We already have the area. So in your question on what did I find interesting, I think it is the evolvement of the method of measurement
Yes.
from manual to digital tool. So I personally experienced the development of the measurement, but still, no, I prefer the old school way so that we can understand the
Yes.
principles. Yeah, kasi with the software, as mentioned, we can easily get the area, the length, diba? The volume.
True.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yes.
think that's the interesting part in my career of the involvement of the
Involvement. Yes.
Yes.
So
from man.
True.
happy. I couldn't agree more. But since Thea is here and she's like a
Ah,
first student of how Miss J conducted this, so can you give us like a brief comment on this cut and shuffle method of measurement, and how Miss J has asked you or has influenced you in terms of this manual type of calculation?
actually, I really appreciated how Miss J approached the teaching in PIBE with measurement, because she is our instructor for measurements 1 and 2. So this
Mhm.
is the most did I wouldn't don't want to be unfair to the other instructors, but this is one of the most tedious work activities that we have. And I wish to appreciate it, because this allows you to learn better, to absorb it better, because you always need to go to the basic to understand the principles.
Correct. I
So it
couldn't agree more.
digitalization is actually there. It will teach you, and just in a few clicks, or you just upload the information, that it will give you the output that you need. But understanding it, what happened, how you will explain the content, the context of your report. This is what Miss J taught us in school. And using the dimension sheet, actually, it helped me a lot, because I could easily explain to the client how it was calculated, how it was defined. uh, because always I know digitalization is still in transition in many companies, and it's still not available, but uh, learning the basic is the best. And
Correct.
using the cut and shuffle, actually, doing these reports manually, even if you can use Excel, simply put the formula in there, but it defines clearly, it gives clarity to the report. And you will really understand what was in your drawing. You could have comparison to each, and you'll be careful, more careful on how you do your presentation and your reports.
Agree. So if I may share, yes, aside from knowing the basics, we can always go back to how it is being done manually. If
Yes.
in case if digitalization fails or you don't have internet,
Yeah,
then how are you going to measure these things?
yeah,
And by
Yeah.
heart, you should be able to know this standard method of measurements. I mean, it can be incorporated in the software per se, but knowing how it works and knowing how to get it done without the
yes,
software is another talent. And it's
yes,
something that we should have in us as quantity surveyors. Right.
yes.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So now let's move on. As looking at this career journey of Miss J in a nutshell, we're really getting more interested. And since this is patch, let's move on to the next segment of our program, which is okay, the APC preparation. So, the next question now on APC preparation would be, what moved you to take APC?
Actually, I had plans to take my APC as one of my career growth, but that time, no, the membership fee or the subscription is not affordable. So I have a lot of hesitations taking it because of the fee. But I was given the opportunity to take the APC when my employer, DLS Philippines, offered me a sponsorship on the APC application and the annual membership
Mm.
fee. So that took me to take the APC.
It's always good to have some sponsors around, no?
Yes.
Yes. But
Yes.
just to comment on that, Miss Jay, it's really difficult, if you are looking and this always relates the finances, right? So the fees, the payments, especially those prelim applications, and then the APC itself. But looking at it, it's always in the long run, in the long term. So looking in a
Yes.
longer view. So it's like your vision and your goals, because it will definitely benefit the the applicants or those who are pursuing APC.
Yeah,
Yes.
that time was 2016, no, when I took the APC. So by that time, medyo the fee is is not that affordable for me.
Mhm. There are a number of challenges, and one of it, of course, is having these fees around. If I remember correctly, I mean, to be able to participate and be a candidate, you would have to pay like a certain sum monthly
Mm-hmm.
or yearly, right? Uh, and then you'd be considered to sit in the APC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the writing your APC statement of experience and the case study is already a hurdle or in terms of time management, and these fees are also something that you have to consider. Now, the next question will be, what are your challenges during the APC preparation apart from
Um,
the fees itself? Because it
yes.
is already being sponsored and covered, so what are the hurdles during the time of the preparation itself?
Yeah, challenges on preparation of my submission. Actually, there's no personal, or I don't have any mentors to guide me. So I just focus on the RICS guidelines. And I also, that time, I think Julie, our chairman, was already our ICS member that time. So from time to time, I asked some guide from her. So I was able to demonstrate the core and the mandatory competency. Sample of the work should be submitted. So my challenge that time was I was rehired by DLS Philippines, and the projects handled are newly started. So I don't have any sample of any competencies to submit. So I have to use the most recent projects under the previous employer. So for work etiquettes, no, I have to prepare my submission after office hours, including printing outside office and our house. So printing, meaning we are required to submit hard copy that time. So I was given 6 months to prepare, but was able to prepare it only in 2 months due to the workload. Maybe with your experience also, because of our workload, so very tight schedule for our submission. So hard copies of the submission should be sent to Singapore RICS office 2 days prior to the deadline. So that will be through courier. So it should also be one transaction or one courier transaction with the other submissions with my colleagues that time. So we not only me that was sponsored, but we are 10 that time.
Wow.
And and the interview was no virtual that time. So it was
Uh,
conducted through conference call
oh.
with very unclear reception of the
Uh-huh.
telephone. So it's very difficult to understand the conversation, compare it to face
Mm.
interview. And it's very difficult to express my response to the
Mhm.
questions through telephone. Unlike today, no, I can express it with my hands, with the facial expression, but through the phone, it's very difficult for me to express my
Mhm.
to respond to their questions. And I still remember how I conducted that interview. My ears is very very close to the speaker of the phone. I'm used to but I don't understand. No, it's very unclear on the reception of the telephone. So that's very difficult for me that time. That those are the challenges: the printing of the hard copies, and
Mhm.
I was 2 months to prepare it. Then I have to print everything. I think that have a three copies, and if you can see, no,
Wow.
this is
Wow.
the hard copy. Here, two
Mm,
copies with the flyers here. You can,
wow.
Uh-huh.
yeah. I still keep it so that I can share it with some of my students or
Yes.
staff. Yeah, that's
Or
the
co-members. You
yeah.
can share it here, Jay.
It's
Can you have it
difficult.
delivered also here in Singapore?
And maybe I can scan it. No, actually, I have the soft copy
Soft copy.
before, but my hard drive was it broke
Corrupted.
down, so
Uh-huh.
I
Mm,
lost all my files.
wow.
So I can
Okay.
share, maybe I can scan it for you.
We can just continuously interview you once in a while about
Yes.
about our APC questions. Okay, before we move to the next topic, I think we have a budding question here. From Stephen Pedrajas. Hi, Paul. Just want to ask if this will be recorded and shall be posted
Mhm.
in YouTube to be viewed later. Okay, so for the knowledge of everybody, yes, this is recorded in, I believe, in LinkedIn, in our Facebook page, and do subscribe to our Patch with PICQS YouTube channel, and it will be there together with all the other 11 um, segments that we have had and sessions we've had from other APC successful candidates, including Anteas. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your query. Ayan. Okay, so it is really tough, during that time. That was 2016, Ma'am Jay, no? That was
Yes. So
2016. So, uh, PICQS, and you're one of the founding members of PICQS, and it was founded in 2011. So by
yeah,
this time, 2016, it's still a baby organization. Well, it still is now, but we have achieved a lot of milestones throughout the 10 years. So let us take a look at the next segment of our program and ask you more about P- Okay, so let's talk about now the PICQS role of in your APC journey. So being the founding member of PICQS, and I believe Anthea has the question for this.
Yes, yes. So let's hear on your PICQS role, the PICQS role in your journey in APC. So, Miss J, what was the role of PIQS in your career? More so being certified professional?
y- um, actually, though, that time when we established or started the PICQS, I'm having hard time actually as the president of Philippine chapter is to share or what a quantity surveyor first, and second, what PICQS is all about. No? So PICQS helped me a lot of to be a mentor to all my staff, to all the students, and even PICQS members. So PICQS also helped me to share it with other companies. That time, we are on a road show, no, to have awareness of QS for the construction industry. Actually,
That's
Mm-mm.
nice to hear.
Yeah, it's nice to hear you.
Mhm. And then, how would you describe me? being in the forefront of PICQS from then until now, and you have witnessed a number of APC preparations and a number of candidates who have gone through their APCs and passed. So, how would you describe the involvement of PICQS APC preparation to its members?
Yeah, no, as mentioned, when I apply for my own APC, uh, I have to go through on my own. But PICQS members right now are very very much fortunate to be guided on their APC journey through PICQS structured trainings, mock-up interviews, and mentors who personally guide the members through their APC pathways until they pass the APC. So PICQS members may also automatically members of other professional bodies through the Memorandum of Understanding of the Mutual Recognition. I know that PICQS were able to have an agreement, no, or understanding with the other professional bodies. So
Wow,
it's
okay.
very easy for them right now.
Very easy.
Yeah.
I got scared for a moment. Very easy. Okay. Antea, would you like to share about, I mean, you have gone through the PICQS structured training and a number of trainings alongside of it before
Mm-mm.
you become before you gain the post nominal of MPICQS or being a
Mm-mm.
corporate member of PICQS. Can you tell us more? What is this structured training of PICQS for its members?
Okay, just to give a brief of the structured training. So we have several levels. So we have the level 1 to 3. So that's like knowing, and then the application, and the so that we have the P3T, the thing three, the P3T, the PAP 1 and PAP 2, and we also have the mentoring for how will you be preparing your written submissions, and how your
Yeah.
counselors, your mentors will guide you. And along the way, it's not just about teaching you how you understand the technicalities, or how will you apply it in your work, but also guided you, the whole system, the whole organization actually guided me, not just mentoring, telling me this is the best and this one, but also supported me morally and emotionally along the way. And so that's how
Spiritually.
I see how this structured training is not just about the structure itself, but the whole, I think, the whole organization, per se. So how they will definitely support its members on pursuing their journey in APC.
Yes,
So
and
I encourage everyone, all the members, maybe if you're really give time on it, then go
correct.
for it.
I agree. No, I remember the last time when I was given this QS role for the company that I work for, and I'm struggling. I mean, am I doing the right thing? Is QS
Yeah.
really into just certifying payments to subcontractors, or what is it? What else do I need to do as to perform the role properly? So I came looking for an organization, and I found PICQS, and that was the rest is history. I'm now
Yes.
voluntarily serving the organization because I'd like to pay it forward, and I hope that more members will be encouraged to do so. Okay,
Yes. I
so
truly
now that we
agree.
have, yes, right? Okay, so now let's move on to the final part of APC, which is the, okay, so now we move to this final assessment interview, which I mean, for Miss J's experience, it was done through phone. Uh, it was not the digital way on how we do it now, but I can feel your excitement and how it's done. You went through the senior professional route, right? So I think the first question will be asked by Thea on this.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
of course, you prepared for 6 months. You say you need to print the copies, send it to the Singapore chapter office. Yeah, and preparing now, of course, comes always come to the end, the final assessment interview. And in a panel interview, you mentioned that it is in a conference call. And may I ask who were your assessors by then, or and maybe you can share a bit more about the assessors during your final interview?
Yeah, that time the assessors is um, I think it's three Singaporean and
Wow.
one
Oh,
British.
yes.
So as mentioned, no, the interview didn't went well through the telephone. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any choice but to ask them to repeat the questions.
Yes.
So the questions are mostly on the case studies that I
Mm-hmm.
confidently reply since I personally handled the project and the organization PICQS. So the panel assessors actually um, um, the British AJ again,
Mm-hmm.
Bill
Bill
Jones.
Bill
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah. Bill Jones was very helpful for me because understanding that the Singaporeans is difficult to listen their questions through phone. So
Mm-hmm.
I was assisted by Bill Jones in understanding the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And can I say the difficult question I encountered?
Sure, sure. Please go
Yeah.
ahead, Miss
So
J.
the first one was I encountered was the creation and the use of Philippine standard method of measurement.
Mm-hmm.
The SMM in other countries, no, like in Hong Kong, Singapore, they are used by the construction industry publicly and privately. So the question was, since my strength was more on measurement using different SMM, the question is the SMM or the Philippine Standard Method of Measurement used nationwide? So the answer to that is no, because it is um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that that time was exclusively for DLS, and it's copyright to
Mm-hmm.
DLS. So it's not being used the whole nationwide. So following the question, why is it named as PSMM if not being used nationwide? They're correct, di ba? So, kasi it's
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, so how come it's not being used like Hong Kong SMM? So it's being used
Mm-hmm.
by the construction industry of Hong Kong. So I was stunned, and I don't know the answer, but I remember that one of the management says it will eventually be introduced nationwide since it is applicable to Philippine construction setup.
Mm-hmm.
But with PICQS right now, and I'm one of the committee to create an SMM that will be applicable, and we will be eventually introduce that to the
Mm-hmm.
construction industry publicly and privately. So hopefully,
Wow.
Yes.
PICQS, uh, uh, let's say in the future, no, we can
Mm-hmm.
promote this SMM.
Yes, we
Nice.
definitely should. And this is a great project by PICQS also, no?
Yes.
Before I move to the presentation per se that you have prepared for our viewers, Miss J, let us give a thanks to Louis Hill, Tampok. Thank you. Good afternoon, all. I'm watching from Brunei Darussalam. Wow. Thank you, Louis. Okay, so now I'll be sharing my screen and share with you the presentation that you have prepared for us about the senior professional route. Okay, here you go. Okay, Miss J, we leave you with the presentation,
Okay.
and yeah, take it away.
Oh, okay. Thank you. When I prepare the APC, I check what route is it applicable for me. So I took the SPR, or the Senior Professional Route, since I had more than 10 years experience in senior level that time. So through SPR, there are typical characteristics that our ICS are looking at if you will be going through that route, the SPR. So those characteristics are namely the managing resources, decision making, contribution and responsibility, recognition, managing a team, international dimension, seniority, and client base. So, with these characteristics and with more than 10 years experience in senior level, the strength as a senior professional had been identified. So that's where I'm ready to demonstrate the competencies. I provided the specific example. Next slide, please. So, for example, no, for managing resources, I have to check, or I have to identify, do I have a significant responsibility for managing organizational
Mhm.
resources? Yes, I can say yes. Do I manage project budget of British pound 1 million or more? Yes. I handle more than actually 1 million British pound. And
Wow.
do I decide the budget for my organization, or a large department or a large project? Yes, I can say I decided for those budget. And am I one of the top five resource allocators in my organization? Yes. So I was able to identify my strength, and that goes through the managing resources. As mentioned, I was responsible for US dollar 60 million hotel project, and 280 million US dollars hotel and casino project with allocated staff. And another one is decision making, as I was part of the management level. I was also part of strategic plannings annually within our company, and I'm responsible for the project's income to meet the business plan for the year. And also managing a team. I manage the bill of quantities with 70 QS staff, contract project with 7 QS staff, QS division with 20 QS staff that time.
Wow.
And I was, as Philippine chapter president, I'm responsible, and I contributed in awareness of QS, and I conducted a General Assembly and CPD of PICQS. And another characteristic is the peer recognition. No? I am a founder member of PICQS, and I'm a Filipino delegate for Chartered Institutional Civil Engineering Surveyors, CICES that time. And seniority, no, I'm part of the DLS management, responsible of specific clients and staff. And last characteristics is the client base. So my client that time was Melco Crown Entertainment for City of Dreams project.
Wow. Okay.
Clients like Ortigas Company, Ayala Land, Federal Land, Araneta Center, and Century Properties, who are the one or most of the biggest
Mhm.
developers here in the Philippines. So next slide, please. So further to the approval of my membership application, and as part of the pre-interview submission, I submitted the details of my academic qualifications, membership of any relevant professional organization, and a detailed career history to evidence I met the competencies. So the career history is from the start when I practiced quantity surveyor, and at that time that I had submitted the APC. So also, core and optional competencies were identified for level 3. I have to demonstrate and I have to choose the core competencies, and I have to demonstrate to them the level, no, that I have achieved those core competencies. Like, for example, construction technology and environmental technology. Since I'm also a civil engineer, I have the knowledge in on the different stages of the design, from conceptual to the construction design stage. And I have also a knowledge in new construction methodology, and I have a full understanding of um, different alternatives in construction. And I also advise clients which is the most suitable and economic construction solution. So I was able to demonstrate in that one core competencies, the level 3, no, as mentioned by Thea, no, level 1 to 3, knowing application and the advice. So
Advice.
if we can go through the other core competencies, um, siguro I'll just mention three for the core competency. The next one is contract practice. Again, with my as a senior level position in the company, I was able to demonstrate it in a level 3, advising the client on the appropriate form of contract to be used, advising the client on the suitable procurement strategy. And the third one is the design economics and cost planning. I have to manage, no, different stages of cost planning on different stages of the design. And also, I have to um, mention for every stages of the cost planning, based on the different stages of design. I have to mention to the client how come from the cost plan 1 up to the cost plan, the final cost plan, based on let's say for construction drawings, what was the changes, why was there changes, and what is the cost implications for those changes. So I was able to identify the cost drivers that affects the estimated construction cost, and confidently present the cost plan to the client. So these are a few core competencies, but I think I demonstrated them to 7 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 actually for the core competencies, and two optional competencies, which are the commercial management of construction and the contract administration.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very extensive.
Yeah. Next slide,
What?
please. So, as for the APC, we are required to submit, no, 3 case studies. But since
Wow.
I chose
Mm.
managing a team or organization, I was allowed to present or to demonstrate two cases only. So
Mm.
one case was the managing clients. Um, very hopefully no one will recognize the client. The client was a hard to deal type. He has a close. He is a close-minded person who does not trust anybody in terms of the cost, the budget of the project, and he's a very difficult person to please. One case was the client has no proper management systems or any standard procedures in place. So, together with the third party, though, because that time, if you already recognize that there are no system within the project team, as the QS, I have to step up, no, together with the third party project manager. We have to introduce the proper procedures that is standard within the construction industry. So it takes time, no, pero we have to ensure that the project team carries out the procedures during the construction period. So all the procedures were presented with flowchart showing the person responsible for such scope of
Mhm.
work. And the project team, the whole project team realized and appreciated the smooth flow of the project with the approved procedures until it was completed. So we were able to have that procedure, and the client himself appreciated that one because although there are a lot of change order, no, but the communication, the collaboration with other within the project team, it went smoothly until the project completed.
Mm.
And then the second, actually, is an issue that the management are not all technical person, but all are too much involved in running the project, particularly the project cost. So um, because the project cost is that time was created 2009, and the I think it's 2011 that the start of the project. So the role of QS has been emphasized in the project. I have to have inform them or have a brief definition of what a QS is and what is a specific role of QS for that project. So financial reports are also submitted monthly and presented to the client for close monitoring of the budget because they are much very particular on the project cost. So that they will not be surprised, no, at the end of the project they will be surprised that it's overrun or there are savings. So at least with a financial report, it is monthly submitted and monthly presented to them. So monitoring of the budget against the certainties and uncertainties costs of that project is monitored closely. And
That
then
is
the
very important, no?
Mhm.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because we are protecting, of course, di ba? As a QS,
Correct.
we are protecting the money of
Correct.
the
Right.
client. No?
Client, yes.
That's
So
why.
it's just like us, no?
Mhm.
In our personal lives,
Correct.
of course, we want to have a savings of our
Mhm.
income, di ba?
It is not just applicable to how we run the project, but also on how we manage our own finances. No, I remember
Yes.
in terms of certifying payments to subcontractors, your role as a quality surveyor doesn't stop when you have already provided a payment response to them. It's just the beginning. You need, as a quantity surveyor, you need to have a proper system in place to monitor and share to the management. You have that this responsibility that when the management asks you, where are we in terms of this subcontractor A, or where are we in terms of contractor A, B, and C, then you would say this is the cost to complete. These are the variations that we're looking at, and these variations may cost about this much. And without the proper system on how you're going to manage and monitor variations, without the proper system in place, you you can never get it right. I mean, you can never have these things in place and this information enough for the management to decide, are we do we need to infuse more capital for this project, or do we
Yes.
need to provide a more a review on how we're going to manage, or let's say do a design management if it's a design build, or do some more
Yes.
engineering, value engineering exercises. So it's really great to have this in place. It's an eye opener to those who are just beginning to practice the profession. So they would look into it as not just a QS, but as a future manager, or a future cost manager or cost professional. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
that, Miss J.
So true.
Thank you, AJ.
Okay, so let's move on. I think you still have a few more
Yeah,
slides.
few more
Yep.
slides. I think that's hopefully that's two or three more.
Hopefully, we want more actually, Miss J.
Yes, definitely.
We're
Yeah,
getting a lot.
yes. And the third one is the management have pegged no, a
Mhm.
budget as mentioned prior to commissioning the QS consultant. So their budget was established year 2009 without any allowance of escalation costs of constructing the project in 2011. So they don't have that contingencies or any
Okay.
escalation that time. So various cost plans were prepared and presented to them on a different stages of the design information to monitor that against the 2009 budget.
Oh,
And we restructured that budget based on the tender drawings and to align it with the construction date of 2011. So revised budget was approved, and luckily, or let's say those monitoring of that budget, the awarded packages are within the revised budget already.
wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
So the management or the client appreciated having a third party quantity surveyor in their project.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that.
Okay, the second case study is a very brief one only,
Mhm.
managing a team. So I demonstrated that this case study as the Philippine chapter president. So I submitted or demonstrated the PICQS Philippine chapter organizational chart, the annual report presented during the PICQS Philippine Chapter General Assembly, particular the committee, because that time we have the committee structure for um, uh, membership, finance, knowledge, CPD, and communication. And
Mhm.
also, I presented also the financial report of the chapter for that year. So, with the managing team, there was no question on that because they I have pictures. I have a lot of pictures in during the presentation. No, it's in my submission that we had CPD, CSR,
Mhm.
um, and some General Assembly. Yeah, that's one. So
Wow.
there are no question on that managing that the
Mhm.
organization.
That's nice. Okay. Wow, that was quick. Okay, that was a quick overview on the case study, and the rest is history. So after
Yes.
that, you have really demonstrated that you are indeed worthy
Yes.
of becoming a chartered and certified professional and even mentor of many aspiring APC candidates.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much, Miss J, for sharing that. I think the next one, I mean, after all these presentations of your competencies and the case studies, which you have demonstrated really well, let us look into the next part of our program, which is okay. So now we're looking
Yes.
at what are the benefits of being a certified or chartered professional.
Yes, yes, AJ. So this is always a question for those who are trying to take APC. What will I benefit from it? And by the way, Miss J, you still never fails to impress me whenever you share your astonishing achievements. It's like a list. And you've shared to us that you've applied or you've taken the senior professional route for RICS, and for so many years you've been in a senior management role. And of course, what how did it benefit you, and in your career, how did it affect your career after passing the APC?
uh, After passing the APC, no, aside of course from recognition from the company, I'm more confident of my work and my deliverables to the management and to the clients, and I'm confidently mentors my staff and the PICQS members, and also managing PICQS Philippine
Mhm.
chapter and PIPE. So I'm very vocal to promote the QS profession within the construction industry here in the Philippines. So I had the boost morale, no, being
Mhm.
a chartered surveyor.
How about in your career? What changed in your career after? I mean, in your profession, is there anything that has a great impact in your profession after passing your APC? What changes happened?
Yes, aside nga on my work, no, I was recognized uh,
Oh, okay.
monetary or
It comes with it. It comes with the role.
Yes.
The
yeah,
increase in role, yeah,
and
and
responsibilities.
responsibility
Mhm.
should have an increase in compensation as well.
Yes. I was asking so that those listeners, our audiences, would be more motivated why they need to take the APC both in PICQS or in RICS.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. So there's really a lot more at stake, or there's a lot more benefits apart
Mhm.
from the compensation, the additional role, or
Yes.
the confidence. It's more of also how you're going to share it or paying it forward to the
Yes.
community that has helped you go there or reach the heights of your career. So thank you, Ma'am J, for that demonstration of on how we're going to, or what can we look forward to after
Look forward.
Mm-hmm.
being a certified or chartered professional. Okay, but before we move to the next part, I think we're nearing the end of our program. I would like to say hello to Richard Marcelo. Good afternoon, watching from Calamba, Laguna. Wow, hello, hello.
Richard Marcelo is our suke. What they call that?
Yes, he is the secretary of PICQS Philippine chapter. Yeah, and thank you very much for your support and watching PICQS and joining us here in Patch. Okay, we have some more from Eric Baklig. Welcome back, Patch. Hi, AJ and Thea. Thanks for sharing your case study, Mom J. Okay,
Hi,
thank you very
Eric.
much.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, Eric. Eric is our Global Communications Head for PICQS. Okay, thank you very much. And of course, we have Cesar Kilenderino. Please let me know how to join PICQS. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cesar, for more information about how to become a member of PICQS. One is you need to become a Filipino citizen, and then you can go to our official website, which is picqs.org, and there's an online prompt there and the link for the downloadable form, which you have to fill up also online and submit it online together with your credentials. And then next is you will be scheduled for an interview with our selected accredited interviewers. It could be a panel interview or it could be one by one member, and then you will be informed about your grade, your membership grade. Yeah, because the PICKS has also, like similar to the other organizations, we have some membership grades depending on the outcome of your interview. So all the best, and we look forward to having you as our members, as one of our members. And we have here Miss from Elizabeth Reynalda Landicho. Oh, Miss J, I think you have an appointment to make. Uh,
Yeah,
Depending
you
on
can
Jay's
connect.
schedule.
You can connect me through LinkedIn,
Okay,
Elizabeth.
there you
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Elizabeth, for joining us here in Patch. And you are open to connect to Miss Jessica Gandia from in LinkedIn, and you can send your message there. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in here in Patch, of course. And thank you, Miss J, for being our wonderful guest for this afternoon. So before we proceed and give our final go to our viewers. Miss J, do you have a final message or advice to our viewers and those who want to become certified or chartered professionals?
Um, it's not difficult and it's not easy, no, to be to get our APC. But being an APC candidates, PICQS will help us, no, to pursue our APC. Um, I encourage you to pursue your APC to achieve your career goals and develop your competencies. Just reach out to your mentors, particularly in PICQS. Actually, PICQS members are fortunate to have members who voluntarily supports their mentees. And PICQS have many mentors who will spend time with everyone to share their own path in their APC, as mentioned by AJ a while ago. And being a mentor, it's a fulfillment actually, no? Seeing and knowing the mentees have already achieved their career goals. But let's not stop on that point, no? That we achieve our
Mm-hmm.
goals, but still with at this time we still continue, no, to learn more things on being a QS. Let's continue to pay forward also to other PICQS members. And personally, I'll continue to mentor, even though I can say that I have gone a long way as QS, having, as mentioned by Thea and AJ, that I've experienced for more than 25 years. And I'm proudly can say that I'm a competent QS, and the challenge is yours to take. And I believe there's no better time, no, to be an APC candidate, but now.
Agree.
First, of
Totally
course,
agree.
be a member of PICQS, and we will
Yes.
help you with your APC route or your APC path.
Okay.
So go with PICQS. And then
Yes.
maybe you will allow me, no, if I can just promote a
Of
few.
course, Miss J. Go ahead.
Just I would like to promote PIBE also. It's the first quantity surveying school here in the Philippines. And enrollment is ongoing for our September class for academic year 2022-2023. So
Wow.
just give us, or you submit your CV and some other requirements or credentials through email, and even you can check us through Facebook and the LinkedIn account.
Yes,
That's it.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much, Miss J. SPIP offers the higher certificate on
National. Yes.
quantity
Higher
higher
national
national
certification.
certificate for
Yeah.
quantity surveying. So this is
Yes.
one avenue wherein you can gain the introductory or the foundation class of what quantity surveying is all about. And I believe Atea also took it,
Yes,
right?
I could also testify to that, both for PIB and PICQS.
That's a proof living, si Thea.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and then you can testify
Actually,
for
Antea took both. So she took the higher national certificate for quality surveying, and she went through the all PICQS structured trainings
structured
and where she
training.
is now. So congratulations, Antea,
Thank
and
you.
congratulations in advance to all our future attendees all on the
Yes,
structured training. So before we formally end our program, we would like to have a few announcements to make.
it's great. Mhm.
Antea, go
Wait,
ahead.
this is the
Okay.
end? It's too short, ah.
Yeah, we look forward for more, Miss J.
Yes, Miss J,
And
you're definitely
yes,
welcome to join us again.
there are a lot more to share, I believe, from Miss J and learn from her.
Yes.
And before we end, we would like to announce and we would like to congratulate the PICQS members as accredited construction arbitrators. So we have
Yes.
9 from our group from Mr. Albino Raya, Isa Camacho Asuncion Lopez from Qatar, Miss Julie Christy de la Cruz, and Miss Maricher de la Cruz, Micaela Tabios, Romalin Lorenzo, and Sonny Andalis from Singapore. We're proud of him. And
Yes.
we won Kabang from Qatar chapter. So we're from different chapters. Congratulations from PICQS.
Yes. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Okay, next we would like to thank the heartful and very unselfish contribution of our global PAP1 leaders and the heads, Ms. John Urboda, Mr. Isagani Oliveros, Mr. Ferdinand Guillermer, and Ms. Noemi Kulala, and of course Ms. Sheila Baldivia. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
volunteering and for being part of this year's PAP1 as global heads. And also, we would like to thank the contributions and volunteering activities of our chapter committees. We have
Mhm.
PAP1 Asia Pacific and UAE, Abraham Ruedas, Precious Valerio, and Jeremy Perale. And for our Middle East Region Committee, Maria Allen Nieva, Dennis Macam, Denise Tamplanza, Mr. Luisita Carlos, and Mr. Alvin Salayog.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And we also want to present to you the structure of our POP1 or PICQS APC Program 1 for beginners for global ME, SME trainers. So here are the leads of our trainers for several competencies starting from June 24, 2022 until September 16, 2022 from different chapters of our PICQS organization.
Yes, thank you to our global SMEs for Middle East. And also we have global SMEs for Asia Pacific and the UAE because they share the same time zone. I'm not the same time
Yes.
zone, but they share the same timeline. Since the
Mhm.
UAE has already moved its free
Off
dates
day. Yeah,
off,
yeah, off days. Yeah,
including
Saturday,
so
Sunday, I believe. So we have to merge them
correct.
together. However, it's still okay because it's virtually doesn't stop anyone to learn.
Yes.
So
So
thank you everyone for the
congratulations.
support.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you and congratulations in advance to our participants who have challenged themselves in registering and being part of this PAP 1 for this batch. From Middle East region, we have 9 participants. And from UAE and Asia Pacific chapters, we have 47, I believe. So total participants for this batch is we have 56 participants. So thank you very much, everyone. And this is a great time for you to challenge yourselves further. After POP 1, there is GAMP, which is the mentoring program, and POP 2 for those who would like to um, uh,
Learn the advising part of the APC, the level 3.
correct. Okay, so that's it for our announcements for this afternoon. Before we end our program, we have a two more questions, I think. When will be the next patch event? Okay, so if you go to our YouTube channel, Patch with PICQS, you can check 11 more sessions that we have there, and they have presented their APC case studies as well. And the next patch event, we are trying our best to hold this every month. So depending on the availability of our featured professional. So watch out and for the announcements in LinkedIn also. Okay,
Yes.
so Louis, thank you. Thanks for this session. Very informative and encouraging. Thanks, Ma'am AJ, Ma'am Thea for hosting, and Ma'am J for sharing your APC route. Just finished P3T and POP 1 last year and able to pass those PICQS structured trainings. Really worth to recommend to Filipino people who are involved in projects or in construction. Keep it up, PICQS. Wow. Thank
Yes.
you,
And
Louis.
he
Don't
was one
stop,
of
huh?
our trainees in top 2. So we're excited to see him in our APC final interview.
Wow, thank you very much, Louis, for sharing your journey. And I think not it will not be too long before we may be able to feature your own APC journey. So
Yes.
yeah, we
Yes,
look
we're
forward
excited
to it.
for that.
Looking forward for that,
Looking
Louie.
forward.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Miss J, once again. And Anthea, do you have a
Yes.
few more words for our viewers?
Okay, for our viewers, I know that Patch is just a platform to present to you how those APC passers challenge themselves in this APC journey and how it benefited their career and personality as well. Because this is not just about the career; it's also about how the organization PICQS help us matured as a professional in this individual as well. So for everyone, again, Ma'am Jay, thank you for your time and honoring us to be our guest feature speaker for today. And for those viewing, watch out for more updates from PICQS. There are more to come, and we hope that we see you in our PICQS APC structured training in the next season. And watch out for more.
Always my pleasure.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Miss J. And okay, so that's it for another hour and a half of our patch session. We would like to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon, this evening, or this morning, and for sharing your Saturday with us. We hope to see more of you, and we hope to share more very good content for you and to challenge
True.
yourselves further and become the next certified or chartered professional. So,
Yes.
see you in our next patch session. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
and
you,
have a good
everyone.
weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
Thank
you.
for
you.
listening.
Thank you, AJ and MJ.
Thank you, Thea.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered how they conduct APC for Senior Professional Route? Join your hosts AJ Paredes and Anthea Valdez and wonder no more as we hear it from the AVP for Bids and Awards Committee of Eton Properties, Engineer J. Gandia. All these and more on Saturday, 2nd July, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you!